Hello and warm welcome to all of you. Dear students, today I am here with the part 5 of economic chapter number 2, people as resource. In the previous lecture, we started quality of population in the form of education. We discussed that how education is an important input for the growth of any person in society. How educated people are able to contribute more in the growth of the society in comparison to uneducated people. Even we discussed that government of the country had spent 151 crore rupees in the first plan for providing education to the people of the country, and it rose to 3,766.90 crore in 11 plan. Even the expenditure to provide education, it increased from 0.6% to 3% in 11 plan. Today we are going to discuss the second part of how education is important for the growth of any person. The literacy rates have increased from 18% in 1951 to 74% in 2010-11. Because of the effort of the government, because they spend more money to provide the education to the people of the country, the literacy rate of Indian people, it was 18% in 1951, and from 18% it increased to 74% as per the figure of 2010-11. So one side, government increasing money, government increasing expenditure to provide education, so they are getting the result in the form of increase, that is increase in literacy rate. It increased from 18% to 74% in 2010-11. Literacy is not only a right, it is also needed if the citizens are to perform their duties and enjoy their rights properly. Literacy is not only the right. As a citizen of the country, we are enjoying different fundamental rights, and right to education is our one important fundamental right. So it is also needed if the citizens are to perform their duties and enjoy their rights properly. This is very important. Educated people, they know their rights. Even they know their duties. So educated people, they perform their duties well, even they enjoy their fundamental rights. While uneducated people, because of illiteracy, they are not aware of their rights. Even they are not performing their duties. So education is an important right for all persons in society. However, a vast difference is noticed across different sections of population literacy among male is nearly 16.6 higher than female, and it is about 16.1 higher in urban area as compared to the rural areas. Literacy rate is differ among the different section of the society. Literacy rate of male is higher than the female, 16.6% higher than the female. On the other hand, the literacy rate of urban area is higher, 16.1% in comparison to literacy rate of rural area. Literacy rate is different. That's why we can say that literacy rate is different between male and female, even between the urban population and rural population. In 2011, literacy rate varied from 94% in Kerala to 62% in Bihar. Even literacy rate is different among the different states of our country. Literacy rate of Kerala is about 94%. On the other hand, literacy rate of Bihar is around 62 to 63%. So there is a vast difference in literacy rate of male, female, urban population, rural population, even state-wise variation is there. The primary school system has expanded to over 7.68 lakhs in 2004-05. Unfortunately, this huge expansion of school has been diluted by the poor quality of schooling and high dropout rates. Even the number of primary school increased by the government, 7.68 lakh school established by government to provide education, but unfortunately we are not getting a good result due to the poor quality education provided by this school and even high drop rate of the students. In the rural area, poor family, children, due to the poor background, they are not getting the benefit of education. Due to weak financial condition, from the childhood, they started to earn some money for the support of family. So, high drop rates of the student in rural area is also noticed. So, to overcome from such situation, government had started SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Now we are going to discuss the features of SSA. Number 1, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is significant steps toward providing elementary education to all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years by 2010. First feature of SSA is government is trying to provide elementary basic education to age group of 6 to 14 year of age by 2010. Free and compulsory education to the age group of 6 to 14 year of age. Number 2, it is time-bound initiative of the central government in partnership with the state, local government and community for achieving the goal of universalization of elementary education. This SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, is time-bound initiative of the government with the partnership of central government, state government local government as well as community to achieve universalization in elementary education, to provide education to all children of the country. Number 3, it breeze course and back to school camp have been initiated to increase the enrollment in elementary education. Government also started bridge courses and back to school camp for the rural students, and they are able to get the elementary education for them. Number 5, even midday meal scheme has been implemented to increase attendance and retention of children and improve their nutritional status. To attract more number of children towards education, government has started midday meal in government school to attract the rural children to get the education. By providing midday meal, government also taking care of nutritional, government also providing them nutritional food for the growth of their body. So midday meal is a scheme to attract more number of students toward education as well as to take care of their nutritional status of these poor background children. Even government also started these policies could add to the literate population of India. So government had started this all SSA Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan with the intention to add or to increase the literacy rate of our country. The 12th plan endeavored to raise the country's gross enrollment ratio in higher education of 18 to 23 years are grouped to 25.2 by 2017-18 and to reach target of 30% by 2020 to 21, which would be broadly in line with world average. Even government also increased expenditure to provide higher education to the age group of 18 to 23 years, and they targeted 30% youth of our country, they are able to get higher education by 2020-2021. The strategy focused on increasing access, quality adoption of state-specific curriculum modification, vocational station and networking on the use of information technology. Even government had started increasing access, quality of education. Even they modified the curriculum for the students. They started vocational training center. They started networking and information technology center for the growth of the children of the country. The plan also focused on distance education, convergence of formal, non-formal distance and IT education institution. The 12th plan also encouraged students to get distance education. Distance education is a facility provided by the government. They are able to get the education from their home by getting education, by getting admission in distance centers. Over the past 50 years, there has been a significant growth in number of university and institutions of higher learning in specialized area. Even to provide higher education to the youth of the country, we can observe there is increase in number of universities, number of institutions providing higher education to the youth of our country. So in the 12th plan, these are the policies of government. Here one table is given, table 2.1, number of institutions of higher education, enrollment and faculties. From 1950 to 51 to 2014-15, number of colleges, increase in number of colleges, increase in number of universities, students and teachers. These all numbers are given in below table. You can study the table and you can find the difference in number of school, colleges, students and teachers from 1950-51 to 2014-15. So in last two lectures we discussed how education is an important determinant in the growth of any person or society. So at the end of the lecture, I would like to add this: how educated people are an asset for any country. Number one, educated people earn more than uneducated people. It is obvious that because of their education and skill, they are able to earn more. Number two, literate population is an asset for any economy. Literate people, they are contributing in the growth of national economy. So they are an asset for any country. It leads to higher productivity. Educated people with their education and skill, they are able to produce more. It opens new horizon for person. With education, person is able to produce more because of their skill, because of their education. Educated people contribute more in the growth of society. So that's why we can say that educated and literate people are an asset for any economy, any country. So with this, I would like to conclude my today's lecture. In the next part, we will discuss how health play important role in the growth of any person or any country. Thank you very much for your cooperation.